Today on The Occult Detective, I'm going to tackle the favorite people book tag. So the favorite people book tag is something dreamed up by Gareth at Books, Songs, and Other Magic. And I saw MJ from Reading This Life's video yesterday and thought, why not? I'll tackle it. The first prompt is an easy one. Name your favorite author. For me, very simple. It's Robert E. Howard. He's been my favorite author since I was a kid. I just love the visceral prose, the kind of the kinetic energy that he brings to the written word. Conan, Solomon Kane, Bran McMorn, John Kirwan, you name it. He paints a very vivid picture. I just love the way he does it. The second one is a little more difficult. The second prompt is name your favorite comedy actor or comedian. And that's really rough. And I was thinking in terms of comedians. There's so many. I almost lean towards Robert Anton Wilson, which a lot of people don't think of him in those terms, but he was a comic. Push come to shove, I'm going to say Bill Hicks. His brand of comedy really struck home with me, especially back when I was in college. But yeah, I really enjoy comedians, so it's just like there's so many to think of, and I think I'll just stick with Hicks. The third one is another difficult prompt. Name your favorite dramatic, serious actor or actress. I don't think in terms of favorite actors necessarily. I watch movies because of their subject matter. I like a compelling story. I was thinking like, well, who's been in some of my favorite films? What actor keeps turning up and delivering terrific performances, even in bad films. So I think I'm going to go probably with Christopher Lee, just because he's been there since I was a kid. With the Hammer horror, obviously, The Devil Writes Out is one of my favorite films, and he's just so brilliant in that. But later in life, also, he did turns in Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. It was very compelling. That showed his gravitas, the way he just kind of commands the screen. I also thought of people like Max von Sydow and Kate Blanchett. And as far as like being an actor's actor, I think Lee takes the cake, really. So the fourth prompt is name your favorite political figure, past or present. For me, that's an easy one also. My favorite president is Teddy Roosevelt. I just loved his attitude. He was a man that, loved the environment. He was instrumental in our national parks. And he didn't take any bull, and I like that, in a leader, somebody who's, willing to stand up for what he believes in and put his foot down. And that, Teddy Roosevelt seemed like that kind of guy. The fifth prompt is name your favorite film writer or director. That's another easy one. I'm gonna say David Lynch, just because I love the way his mind works. I love the surrealness of what he puts on film. It can be confusing and all over the place, but I love the boundaries that he pushes. But Lynch, he's outside the box, and I really appreciate that. Probably a close second, though, would be Eggers. His work has been just monumental. My favorite film now, if you were to back me into a corner, the Northman, is so yeah. now that Lynch isn't directing anymore, Eggers is kind of filling that role, and I'm really looking forward to Nosferatu. Name your favorite new discovery. Um, that's hard. That's musically, I guess probably the most recent band that I've discovered and am into would be Cricket Blue. Highly recommend them. I just love their harmonies and the way they weave in and out of each other. It's like kind of like a folk duo, Taylor and Laura. And yeah, they're just fantastic, wonderful songwriters. I recommend them highly. I'll put a link down below to their work. Also, I've been listening to Malcolm Guite lately, and his YouTube channel is worth a look if you're into the kind of Tolkien-esque English poet, and he's an interesting guy, and I always enjoy looking into his den and seeing what new thing he's got for us. Name your favorite musician or singer. That one's really easy for me. I'll give you two. I'll do a musician, which is without question Jimmy Page. As a songwriter, as he's just and as a producer, he's just a brilliant innovator, and I just love his entire catalog of work. And is he the best guitar player? No. There's countless people that are more talented, technically, but none of them come anywhere close to his imaginative playing, his improvisation. He's brilliant. And as a singer, I just love Ian Gillan's voice. I love to listen to early Purple, obviously, but Jesus Christ Superstar. His performance as Christ in that is, just breathtaking. His vocals on two particular albums, Perfect Strangers with Deep Purple and Born Again with Black Sabbath, which were kind of back to back for him, and his voice was just at that perfect spot right there in that mid 80s. And yeah, he's just, when his voice was at its healthiest, he just had an immaculate range. And the final prompt is name your biggest inspirational person. And yeah, it'd have to be my wife Kim and my son Connor, right? Because every day that I get up, they inspire me to be a better person, and it doesn't get any better than that. That's all I have for you today. I am getting ready to launch into March of the Magicians, where we reread the authors that were members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. It's going to be a lot of fun. It starts this weekend. We'll talk again real soon.